I'm Dan Breshears, Superintendent of the Centerpoint School District, and appreciate everybody who's watching this video today. Lots of folks attend our ball games and our band concerts, and we have assemblies and ceremonies and things like that the public attend often. But parents and community members and even some of our own in-house staff and students don't always get to see the inner workings of some of the things that go on day to day in the buildings. And I wanted to be able to share some of that fantastic day-to-day work and the great learning that goes on in the Centerpoint School District. So I also want to give an opportunity for folks to maybe get to know the incredible students and staff that we have engaged in this work every day. So with the assistance of Ms. Moon's social media class, we're going to try to begin Spotlight Nights, just little segments where we celebrate the great people and the great things going on in the Centerpoint School District and making it a great day to be a night every day. I want to start this little experiment with Centerpoint High School Principal Nick Mounts. He's agreed to take a few minutes out of his busy schedule to be our first Spotlight Night. So let's talk a little bit about you, Coach Mounts, how you got into education and to be in the position you're in today.
Okay, well, I knew from a very, very young age, and I would say even back as far as middle school, as the 8th grade or so, that I wanted to be in education. I knew all along there's never really been anything else that I wanted to do or that I even really considered. So I went to school to be a teacher, switched around between English and business and different areas, and anyway, came to Centerpoint in 2003, and really never thought that Centerpoint would probably be a home, be a long-term thing, but fell in love with the place, with the people especially, and I've been here ever since. This is my 16th year, the start of my 16th year here at Centerpoint, the start of my 4th year as a principal at the high school.
Okay. What made you decide to go into leadership, school leadership, to be a principal?
I don't know. I think for a lot of people that's just a natural move to want to make, and I thought I wanted to do it earlier, and it didn't work out along the way for various reasons. And it was, looking back, it was a good thing that it didn't work out when I thought I wanted it to work out. But I've always I love being in the classroom. I really do. And after 3-4 years of being on this side of things, I missed certain aspects of the classroom a lot. But then, I think most building leaders, district leaders, they think that they would have a vision, or that they have a vision to make what they do in their classroom, the good thing they do in their classroom, they think they can broaden that scope and apply it to a building, or in your case, a district, whatever. So I think, I don't know, I think it was a natural move for me, or a natural want to for me, and I just wanted to apply what I thought could work to an entire building of students and teachers.
Well, you talked about vision a little bit, so let's kind of go there. What is your vision for Centerpoint High School, both in terms of programs and student outcomes?
Well, a lot of people talk in education. A lot of people talk about vision, and it's been a buzzword for a long time. And then a lot of people think that vision and mission and goals and things, and talking about those, it almost gets to the corny stage of when you speak about that. But if you really think about it, if you don't have a vision of where you want to go, as far as school-wide goals, teachers, curriculum, students, athletics, even, and certainly academics. If you don't have that vision, then you're just doing school, and we don't want to just do school here. We don't want to just tick off our 178 days that the state requires us to do and say, well, there's another year down. So my vision, my personal vision, is that every student obviously graduates. That is our ultimate end goal. We want every student who comes through our doors to eventually graduate. That is goal number one, priority number one. But we also don't want them to just graduate and have that piece of paper and not be able to do anything with it. So we want them to be able, when they leave, we want them to be able to do a core set of things, a set of skills that we've designed for them. One of those things is to communicate effectively, and we know that they need to be able to do that both written and verbally. We want them to be able to act responsibly, and everything that goes with that. We want them to be able to think critically about ideas and projects and programs, and that can include the political realm, educationally, what's good for me, what's not good for me, but to be able to think critically and apply those critical thinking skills. And then a piece that we have just added and that we're getting very serious about, we want them to be able to serve selflessly, and that's a piece that's probably the hardest piece to do, because the other three things are school things, and they've always been ingrained in education. But to serve selflessly is huge, especially in today's world, and I think it's getting more and more important that our kids be able to recognize a service project, a need, how to meet that need, and then to serve of themselves in a way that helps those around them without anything tangible in return, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Kind of training them to be citizens.
To be good citizens, to be good
citizens.
To be good citizens, to be great citizens.
Yeah, that's good. So a little more personal rather than just the job. At the end of the day, when a kid leaves you, you're the principal, and they've seen you for, they've been in your hallway since 9th grade. What do you want them to take away from you? What do you want them to think of you as an example of when they leave Centerpoint High School?
I want to be able to see somebody, or to think back and obviously have positive thoughts of their time and of their teachers and me being their principal. I want them to see somebody who loves school, who loves learning, who loves education in general, who never stops learning, who always wants to better himself. I want them to see somebody who gives second chances and third chances and sometimes fourth and fifth chances. I don't think most of the graduates, I don't think most of the 18-year-olds in the world are capable of thinking on a long-term, permanent basis. I don't think they understand totally that the actions that they do now as 16, 17, 18-year-olds can have long-term effects, that they think very temporally. And I think
they're wired that way.
They're wired that way. They're naturally. It's not that they're dumb or that they're ignorant of certain ideas. I just think that they haven't developed those skills yet. Now, of course, we're trying to develop those skills with them, but I don't think that most of those students that age who graduate from high school, again, 17, 18, sometimes 19-year-old, I don't think they realize that the decisions they make can affect things on a long-term basis. So I don't think that my punishment or consequences when they do mess up should have long-term repercussions. I think that they should, whatever I do in regard to them messing up when those things happen, I think it should be much more temporary as opposed to permanent, much less punitive. Now certain things require a harsher sentence or a harsher punishment, but I want them to be able to see that, hey, he gave me a second chance. He realized that I am still a kid, and that the actions that I did as a 17-year-old don't necessarily define me as a 27-year-old.
Yeah. Can you describe, and I've been a principal, so I know the answer, can you describe a typical day for a high school principal? And is it what you expected when you first got into this job?
First of all, there's the answer you're probably expecting. There is definitely not a typical day, and that's the fun part. That really is the fun part of your day. Is that you can have a day totally planned out on your Google Calendar, and the things and events and parents drop by and kids drop by and teachers drop by, and that plan totally gets changed and altered and pushed on down the line, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But as far as a typical day, I try to get in classrooms as much as possible, and I admittedly I don't do that near as often as I should or as I would like to. I do a lunch duty every day. First of all, it keeps it off the teachers, and second of all, that has given me a chance to I circle to the tables, and I try to talk to as many kids as I can, and it kind of lets you keep your finger on the pulse of who's upset, who's really happy, who's kind of down about something, and you can kind of get a feel of that as you walk through the cafeteria, and it's at midday. That lunch duty is at midday, so it definitely kind of gives you a gauge on what's happened and what maybe is about to happen or what could happen. But in classrooms, in the hallway, I try to do several duties during class breaks. Walk out there. There's always something that needs to be done curriculum-wise. Planning for a ball game, getting some gate duty stuff together, administration meetings, things like that take place. And is it what I envisioned or is it what I expected? No. And I say that, and that's okay. I really thought, I never dreamed, even having seen, I started to work here in '03 and saw Mr. Donna Smead as the high school principal. Mr. Derek Owens was here for a long time, saw how they did things, and I guess it's a testament to them. They made it look very easy, very, very smooth. And it's not smooth, and it's not easy. It's the hardest job I've ever had. No doubt about it. The hardest job I've ever had, and it's also most days, 90% of the days are the most rewarding days you have. They're great. I love graduation days. Next Thursday we'll have our AP award ceremony. Love those days, getting to hand out those checks to those kids who made 3s, 4s, or 5s on their AP exams. Those are really, really good days. But no, it's not what I expected it to be.
What are some of your biggest challenges? Things that you feel like get in your way, or that disappoint you a little bit when you're trying to get things done?
Of course, every time you have an idea, and not just in education, but in life in general, if you have an idea, if it's your idea, obviously you think it's a good idea. And if it's a good idea, then obviously it ought to be in place right then.
Yeah.
And those good ideas that I think I have, I want them to be in place yesterday, And I rush things sometimes. Admittedly, I do. I rush things, and but I've learned to slow down. That not everybody is at that level of wanting or needing change or innovation or whatever you want to call it. But that's a hard part. That's an obstacle that I create for myself. Is that I want things to happen faster, and then it's probably good. I spoke a few minutes ago about wanting to get into a leadership role faster.
Yeah.
I got the degree and I wanted to do it right then. I wasn't ready to do it right then. A lot of times the changes that I want to make, little tweaks, aren't necessarily, it's not necessarily the right time to make those changes. But as far as obstacles, the ADE has relaxed so much of the black and white rules. That has been a great help. As far as from top down, I don't feel that we really have any specific challenges at Centerpoint High School that are preventing us from doing large scale educational things that we want to do for our kids.
Right. Well, that's all I have here, other than I was just wondering if you had a message to share with the community, or with the parents, the people who may not know our day-to-day operations. What would you want to say to those folks?
I want to say that if you want to, if you don't know what's going on here at Centerpoint High School, we had for the first time ever an open discussion parent night right before school started. We had several people come out for that. I would like to have more of those. I would like to at least have one a semester, so that people can come out and they can hear what's going on. That we ran through a presentation. It took about an hour and a half or so, but we just named off all the cool things that we have going on. We have Project 2020, where a student, for a qualified student, can get an associate's degree at the same time they get their high school diploma. That's been huge for us. It generated a lot of interest. We had the Night Ready Scholarship, where those same students, those same Project 2020 students, and then all of our honor graduates can go to Henderson State University free of charge, totally free of charge. We have our first 5 or 6 students right now at Henderson, just started this semester right now, who are going totally free of charge as far as tuition and fees go. So when you only have to worry about some books, which I'm not making light of that, books are expensive, but when you only have to worry about books and in your room and board, and your tuition and fees are taken care of, that's big. But Henderson partners with us doing that, and then SAU in Magnolia also does the same thing for a few students. So that's great. But knowing that you can open up those doors for students and for families by doing some of these programs, and it would, I tell people all the time, it would be much simpler if we didn't do all this stuff. If we didn't, a few years ago, start soccer. If we didn't start a new revamped beta club and put more resources towards student council, it would be easier if we didn't. It wouldn't be better.
Right.
It wouldn't be better for kids. It wouldn't be better for communities. And as far as the Project 2020 and the Ready Night scholarships, it would be better for families. So we're doing a lot of neat stuff. If you're a parent who is out there and you wonder what we do, I have a very short, very simple PowerPoint presentation I can email you. I've emailed it to several parents. I would encourage you to get involved in any way. Of course, that's much easier and much more, I guess, acceptable at the lower level. But we would love to have some volunteers come up. And our parents are involved in a lot of ways. For our ESL parent nights, we have a lot of parents who come out and want to know what's going on. And I realize that a lot of people, they want to know what's going on too, but they don't have time to come out. We have FAFSA nights, FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A, the free application for federal student aid for those seniors and their parents, that they can come out, and we bring in professionals who know a lot more about student aid than we do, and they help parents fill out those applications. But if you want to come up and learn more about what's going on at Centerpoint High School, we would love to have you. We would love to talk to you about ways where you can work to keep your kids involved. I am thrilled every day to be able to work with first of all, Mr. Breshears, the central office staff. Our teachers are hands down. I couldn't think of a better place to work, and our students are second to none. We just last year we had 4 Governor's Distinguished Scholars in a class of 72.
Right.
Amazing. That is unheard of to do that. We have.
Now that was awarded by county?
That was awarded by counties.
Right? So
yes.
Including Clark County, which has Arkadelphia, Garland County, which has all those big
Yes.
schools,
Pike County,
Pike
of course,
County, and Hot Spring.
Hot Spring County. So to be able to get 4 in one class, all 30 plus ACT scores,
That's great.
is amazing.
Great.
And you look at that, and you almost think it was some kind of mistake that we were awarded. But if you look at those 4 individuals, and then a few kids who probably finished runners up, you would say, man, that's the cream of the crop. Not just at this school, but obviously in this whole region.
And some of those same kids were part of the state championship Quiz Bowl team last year,
yes,
which was definitely worth mentioning.
For the 5th time in school history.
Yeah.
Definitely one of our most celebrated programs ever, and it continues to get better and better, and more people involved. And when you go somewhere, I don't know about you, but I'm sure it's the same, and you introduce yourself as being from Centerpoint School District, Centerpoint High School, the 2 things they know about primarily are our Quiz Bowl program and our FFA program.
Quiz Bowl and FFA.
And of course, those 2 programs speak volumes for those kids involved, the advisors that have come and gone and are still here with those kids, and then of our whole school culture in general. We really produce some great programs for kids to be a part of, and we encourage kids every day to be more involved in their schools.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Coach Mounts, Mr. Mounts, for taking a little bit of time and visiting with us today. And anybody wants more information about the Centerpoint School District, please feel free to visit our Facebook page, Centerpoint School District, or the website, www.goknights.us. And keep watching. We plan on putting out a lot more of these Spotlight Night segments, and appreciate your support in the community.